Welcome into another episode of the Los Angeles Rams Insider Podcast on Sports Illustrated from the Fans First Sports Network. I'm Tom Cavanaugh. Follow me at TCAV30 on Twitter/X. Also follow our insider pages at Rams Insider on SI, both on Twitter/X and on Facebook. Today we're going to be looking at NFC West Week 16 predictions. All four teams will be playing. All four teams will be in a non-divisional matchup this week, and there's still implications to be had within the division. Two teams tied for first right now, with the upper hand going to the Rams, and the tiebreaker, 8-6, are them and the Seattle Seahawks. In second place right now, the 7-7 Arizona Cardinals. They have a fairly easy game this week, but don't take anything for granted. And then in last place, practically no chance to make the playoffs at all, are the San Francisco 49ers at 6-8. So we'll start at the top, talk about those Los Angeles Rams. They're going on the road, East Coast, cross-country, to play the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium this Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m., Pacific time. I see the Rams getting a win here. This is going to be, the Rams on the road, 4-3 on the year. They started 0-3. They're on a 4-game heater in road games this season. They're going to be playing against a Jets team that just kind of figured it out offensively. They scored 32 points against a very bad Jacksonville Jaguars defense. I think the Rams are much better defensively than the Jaguars. I don't think they're going to give up 32 points. The run game is very, very lacking right now for the Jets. Their pass game is much better with a couple of weapons. You talk about Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard, and then on the other side, you got Puka Nacua, Demarcus Robinson, and Cooper Kupp. So it's a couple of really, really highly talented, highly skilled receiver rooms going at it this week. But the Rams moving on to 9-6. They win their fourth straight in a row. 8 of their last 10 games this would be their 8th win in the last 10. I think they get it done. Played well on the road. They had a similar scenario about a month ago when they went to play the New England Patriots at the same time, same area. Probably not the same temperature, though. This game's going to be in the 20s, guaranteed. New York around this time, very, very chilly. MetLife, it just looks cold when you watch a game there. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks, tied at 8-6 with the Rams. This is interesting. When you look at the Seattle Seahawks final 4 games of the year, it features 3 teams in the NFC North: the Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears, and then you finish with the LA Rams. The NFC North has been the best division in football all year, and it's not even close. You got 2 teams tied at 12-2 at the top, and then your team in second place right now is 10-4. That's just ridiculous. And obviously the Bears bring up the rear in that. They've had kind of a crumble of a season after a solid 4-2 start. But, you lose handedly to the Green Bay Packers last week, 30-13. Green Bay just they just took you to town at home. That was a very impressive performance from Green Bay in a bounce-back spot after they lost to the Lions the week before. And now you got another home game, but it's against the Minnesota Vikings, who are 12-2 and are on one of the hottest heaters in the league, probably arguably a top 3 team in this league. And I don't see the Minnesota Vikings losing again this year until maybe Week 18 against Detroit. But Seattle's going to lose this game. They won 4 in a row. They lost to Green Bay. Kenneth Walker's banged up, did not play the last couple of weeks. Geno Smith, he probably won't play this week either. He had a lower body injury. Not sure what his status is just yet. We're going to get an injury report on them later this week. But having Kenneth Walker and Geno Smith not in the ball game, that really hurts your chances to be able to win this game. So, give me the Vikings. They'll win the game on the road. Vikings move on to 13-3. They cannot stop winning games. And it'll drop the Seahawks to 8-7 and give the Rams a 9-6 lead, or a 9-6 record, which is a 1-game lead over the Seahawks in the division with 2 games left to play. For the Arizona Cardinals, fairly easy-ish game. This is their final non-divisional game before they finish up with the Rams and the Niners. They're going to take on the Carolina Panthers here in Week 16. This is on the road in Carolina. Now, Arizona's seen their fair share of struggles. After winning 4 in a row between weeks 7 to 10, they lost 3 straight, falling to Seattle, Minnesota, and then the Seahawks once again. They picked up a big win last week, taking down New England 30-17. Patriots are not a good team at all, and Arizona kind of just dispensed them. They need to do that again this week. Take down Carolina on the road and move on to 8-7. Then you would be tied for second place with the Seahawks, who are going to lose this week to Minnesota. So you'd have 3 out of the 4 teams in the NFC West over 500, which is very good. 8-7 apiece for both Seattle and Arizona, and then 9-6 for the Rams. But Los Angeles can't be too careful, because if the Rams fall, they're going to have a three-way tie for first place at 8-7. And Arizona actually has the tiebreaker over LA, but they lost twice to Seattle. So it kind of is just like a three-way tie here. Very weird, because the Rams beat Seattle. They lost to Arizona. They lost to Seattle. I mean, it's going to be a head scratcher and painstaking to figure out who's going to win this division if every team is tied up with the same record. Finally, we'll talk about the San Francisco 49ers. They've really had a tough season. They're losers of 4 of their last 5. Coming off that loss to the Rams, 12-6. They just could not muster anything offensively, scoring just 2 field goals. The Rams were able to double up and score 4 and win that game. Just the ugliest game of the season, I think. Haven't seen as bad of a game from 2 teams all season long, whether it's Thursday, Sunday, Monday night, or just a regular Sunday ball game. I mean, right now the Niners are looking for a bounce back, but they have shown that their offense over the last several weeks, besides the Chicago Bears game, they posted 10 points apiece against Green Bay and Buffalo, mustered just 17 against Seattle, 20 against Tampa in a win, 23 against Tampa in a win, sorry. So, from some of these games, they're scoring a lot of points, but recently, besides the 38 points they posted on Chicago, they haven't done much offensively. And they're playing a Miami Dolphins team in Week 16 on the road down south in Miami. That's kind of been surging lately. I mean, they're 6-8. Started the year really rough and have kind of climbed on back. Their offense is starting to come on back. Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and the likes. This should be a good game for Miami to kind of thrive against a defense in the 49ers that is still limited, but continues to get healthier. We saw Dre Greenlaw get back. There were some in-house issues with Devondre Campbell, who's a backup linebacker, had his locker cleared out this week after leaving mid-game against the Rams. So there's a lot of things looming around that Niner organization. They're going to try to just focus on football, and I like the Niners to get a win here on the road over Miami. Purdy, I mean, he threw for 325 against Chicago. I think the Dolphins kind of fit that bill defensively, sort of like the Bears. So I like Brock to have a big day. George Kittle as well. Debo finally kind of breaking out of his shell after a really down season that he's had. So a win for the Niners would bring them to 7-8. I still don't think that's enough to get them into a playoff race, especially with just 2 games left, and they got to play Detroit, then they got to play Arizona. So at the end of the week, my predictions show the Rams getting a win over a bad Jets team, moving to 9-6. Seahawks falling to one of the best teams in football, the Minnesota Vikings. Seahawks go to 8-7, and the Arizona Cardinals get a win over a bad Panthers team and move on to 8-7, tied up in second place with those Seahawks. And a win for the Niners on the road in Miami gets them to 7-8, just trying to revive and get some moral victories before the end of this regular season. This has been the Los Angeles Rams Insider Podcast on Sports Illustrated. I'm your host, Tom Cavanaugh. Follow me once again at TCAV30 on Twitter/X and follow our insider pages at Rams Insider on SI. Thanks so much. We will see you again tomorrow, everybody.